escalated. But the one thing, I'm not so much anti-American as I'm just very, very pro-Canadian. Americans think that they're always better than us. They think they're better than everyone. But all you have to do is look at Donovan Bailey and you realize that they're not as great as they think they are. America, for me, Canada is a country where we still take care of the sick and the old, where we still have health care. We got gun control. We don't shoot each other and kill each other on every street corner. Yeah. Canada isn't riddled with racial prejudice and hatred. Across Canada, we all care for each other. And I am proud to be Canadian, and I am proud.
Yo, thanks for joining me live, and to those that'll be joining me on Archive D-Style Boxing here. Shout out to everyone listening on the Leave It in the Ring Network. All right, for those listening on Apple Podcasts, give us those 5 stars, 5 estrellas, hermanos, por favor. Shout out to Spotify, Pandora, iHeart, and iTunes, Stitcher, the whole nine. All right, rate us, and we always welcome constructive criticism, and of course, the YouTube family on here as well. We already have Frank Yeager on here. Says Canelo runs Dallas. I appreciate the support, brother. All right, he's showing he has Sonteo Media on here, and Maestro, cutting his pro-Canadian promo. You know what I mean? Before, it's like I never heard that promo before. It sounded very familiar. That was actually last week. So that was last week. Shout out to Maestro live at 5. Subscribe. Dave from the 4-8. From the Shoe Shine, subscribe. Joe Habib from Ringside Reporter, live every Sunday. Right, make sure you subscribe to Ringside Reporter. We have D. Jefferson coming back to the Roundtable from Speak Your Mind Sports Talk. Subscribe to Speak Your Mind Sports Talk. Hit my like button. Let's get this one started right away. First of all, Milcar, what's going on, brother? Like, you feeling like pro-Canadian or what?
Nah. I mean, I was actually living in Toronto when Bret Hart did that. I was actually in high school at the time. And I agree with a lot of what he said. I mean, the United States definitely doesn't have any good health care, that's for sure. Canada does. But it's definitely a racist country. That's definitely, don't agree with him on that one. It is racist. And people actually do shoot each other over there. Quite often, actually, unfortunately.
He's giving you a synopsis of the pro. Oh my God!
But either way, Bret Hart
required. That wasn't required.
Bret Hart, that was you. That was you for last week. What do you mean, Bret Hart? Bret Hart, who's that? I don't know who that is.
Dangerous D. Jefferson, help him out. Dangerous D, help him out.
All I did was take a piece from last week and I just reposted it. That's all.
I just think I'll get out of Emil Carr's way when he starts talking about the mean streets of Toronto, man.
Let him go.
We gotta let him do his thing, bro.
The show with this, I'm loving it. So let me just make 2 things clear, okay? I never said mean streets of Toronto. Okay, but what I did say is that people that have come out of there as boxers have to be tough because it's not easy to make it as a boxer out of there, which I think is true. Now, if you want to talk mean streets, my man over there, all right, he lives in one of the safest cities in the United States, ranked number 5. I live in one of the safest cities in the world and the 4th safest city in the United States, in New York City. That's facts. You got cities right across the Hudson River here that are in Jersey, Patterson, and a bunch of others that have more murders every year than New York City and are way smaller.
East Orange, Brick City.
Newark, New Jersey. You kidding me? I live in one of the safest cities. That's all I'm saying. So
get out a shout out to Tecate Light. You know what I mean?
We do need health care. That Bret Hart was right about that. Okay. We do need single payer universal health care.
I don't know who Bret Hart is. Like that was you from last week. You know what I mean? That's all I know. I don't know who you're talking about. Bret Hart. Bret Hart. You know, Subtil Media, Raw Boxing, Duval Grind, MMA on here. How you guys doing? Hit my like button. Let's get started, guys. All right.
Let's go.
There's still no Fury versus AJ fight. What is the deal? However, right? They keep doing this to us, right? Like it's like they're giving it to us in pieces, right? First, they've agreed, but it's not signed yet, though. Oh, they agreed, but it's signed, but still no site. No, we don't know when or where. You know what I mean? Oh, well, they agreed in principle, and then they signed, but this, and they agreed in principle that there'll be a site, and then now they're saying they agreed to the site, but they don't tell us the site because it's a big mystery.
They're just licking the tip. They're just licking the tip. They're teasing. They're licking the tip. It's not right. It's not right.
Wow.
I don't like it.
But break it down for what's going on here, man.
Well, here's the thing. So Eddie Hearn let the genie out of the bottle, right? But now he's trying to put the genie back in the bottle. You hear him talking now? Oh, well, I already told everybody too much, and now I can't reveal anymore, basically. So what's done is done. But the reason why, like I said, time and time again, why everyone is so anxious is because you gave people too much information. We don't need to know the play-by-play behind the scenes, what's going on. That stuff's supposed to stay behind closed doors. So when you did reveal all that information, you put yourself in a position where if you don't deliver, now people are they're going to put you on the spot. They're going to call you out. They're going to give you stick for it. So, they agreed. Apparently, they agreed to the site, right? The location. But I'm sure there's a lot of other things they still have to agree to. Because if this was simple, again, we would have had the announcement already. So, the whole thing is this. He's really starting to admit now, which he should have realized from the beginning, and I'm sure he did, but maybe he just didn't. He didn't really say it. What's that feedback from? So he didn't really say it, but the COVID is the elephant in the room. So there's still a lot of unpredictability with COVID, and I think that has to be acknowledged. So anything can happen, within the next couple of weeks, within the next month or so. Who knows? Again, I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just trying to be realistic. I don't know how anyone can talk positive about COVID. COVID's a horrible thing, and it's affecting the whole world, not just boxing. So that's the problem. People want to say, "Oh, well, fights have been put on, but a fight hasn't been put on this size right now." We boxing's came back. They've been back for about 8 months now, almost a year, right? They came back, and
yeah, for sure.
And there's no fight nowhere near close to the magnitude of this fight has been even attempted. So why do you think that is? It's because of COVID, obviously. So cross our fingers and, just hope. And I don't know if you want me to bring this up now or you want to talk about it later. What we talked about the whole situation with Eddie Hearn. You want me to save that for later in the show?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So to me, is Eddie Hearn really want to put this fight on for the good of the fighters, for the good of the heavyweight division, for the good of the fans? Or is this just something that he could put on his resume? Because he comes out and makes statements like, no one can pull this off. I'm the only one that can pull this off. So is this about him trying to prove how much better of a promoter he is than everyone else, that during a pandemic I can put this fight on. So is it him with the chip on his shoulder trying to prove everybody wrong, or is he putting this fight on for the good of the boxing fans, for the good of the fighters, for the good of the sport? Which, because he's trying to say that he's doing it for those reasons. But sometimes when you look deeper into somebody's comments, they kind of tell on themselves a little bit. Oh, well, who else is doing this? Everyone else is sitting on their ass. If this fight does get put on, it's going to be because of me. So again, is this all about you trying to validate yourself as the best promoter in boxing, or is this for the betterment of the fans, the sport, and the fighters? That's what I'm starting to unpack this a little bit, listening to him talk more and more and more, seeing how mad he's getting. And then when Coogan was interviewing him, and he's like, "Don't doubt me." It's like it's almost like he was like trying to. It was just weird, man. He had that that big boy moment where he wanted to puff his chest out, and just talk shit. It was just, I don't know. I think it seems to me maybe this is more about him and less about everything else. That's just my opinion.
It's all about Hearn, says A-Rod, 83 book sale. Hit my like button, guys. I got JC, Sontel Media, Philly Irish. Annalie Jaramillo says, this guy is right. It wouldn't happen till the COVID situation is over, and that might take a while. The GOAT, Jermell, has destroyed his own career, he says. Wow, that's a hell of a take. Andre Rodriguez on here, and Speak Your Mind Sports Talk doing double duty. Speak your mind. Talk to us, brother. Talk to us. I mean, did they say that they agreed to a site? One, do you believe that? Do you believe that? And what are your overall thoughts, man? Still no fight.
Here's my thing with this fight, and my thoughts on this fight. No way we don't get this fight. And this whole scenario with Hearn and what they're doing, man, the great Tex way back in the day used to do this. It's sort of like the analogy, the donkey with that carrot in front of him. You sit on that mule's back, you stick that stick out there, you hang that carrot from that string, and that ignorant ass mule is just going to keep following that carrot. He may never get it, but he's going to keep following that carrot. Well, the boxing fans are the mule. You understand what I'm saying? And Hearn sticks that carrot out there to build suspense. That's how you make these fights. It's an old school trick. That's how you make the more the suspense you build in the fight, the more people want it. Bam, you sell like crazy. My thing is that I don't think Eddie Hearn did let too much out the bag. I think he let out the bag intentionally what he wanted to keep the suspense high. No freaking way, in my opinion, does boxing allow $500 million deal to slide through their fingers. No way. No way. It's too much money. It's too much money to be lost in this atmosphere of sports in general. They're going to do everything. They're going to bend over backwards, everything they can to make this fight happen. $500 million deal between these two guys. That thing is going to go through. And, you look at a situation like Crawford and Pacquiao, right? Fans got more hope on that, but they're not even in talks yet, right? They were just in talks, and they're supposed to fight in June as well. People, that's going to happen. Man, this fight's going to happen. I'm not really concerned with announcements or anything. It's just I can't see for no reason that they allow that amount of money to slip through the fingers of boxing. I mean, all of the people that's going to be paid, MTK Global, with the power that organization had, they're going to be paid. All of the sanctioning bodies are going to be paid. Queensberry, Top Rank, Matchroom, they're going to be paid. You understand? All of this money involved, all of these hands in the cookie jar. Oh, we get this fight. We get this fight. Even if they have to do something illegal, they're going to make sure we get this fight. That's just how I'm feeling about it.
Shout out to the GOAT, D. Hodges on here. How's it going, brother? W. Riled says it ain't happening this year. We have the Shoe Shine doing double duty in the chat, right? Speaking of the Shoe Shine, Dave from 408. So they're saying they agreed to a site, but we still don't got to fight, though. What are your thoughts? Yo, I think you're muted, brother. You're muted, brother. Go ahead.
How am I doing now?
You're good,
You're
devastating.
good? Okay.
You're good, devastating, Dave.
All right, Tyson Fury, he's already in training camp and looking phenomenal. You guys take a look at how thin he is. I mean, he's like at the perfect fighting weight, right? He's with Billy Joe Saunders. He's with Eddie Hearn in Las Vegas this week, taking pictures with Dana White. Something's cooking. All right, Dana White announced today, July 10th, that happens to be the day before my wedding anniversary. Tickets go on sale for the trilogy between Conor McGregor, and it's going to be a full house at the T-Mobile Arena. I've heard Tyson Fury say that he wants to be one of the first people to christen the Raiders Stadium. So I'm not so entirely sure that that's off the table as a venue, because despite the fact that no British fans would be able to come if they schedule it this year, I really think that they can stage a mega fight in Las Vegas this summer. So I'm actually thinking that might be a possibility. And by the way, guys, I had my second COVID shot this morning. I might be a little bit off today, but I'm really irked about another fight. And I just want to say this. I had a full intention to see Jose Ramirez versus Josh Taylor. That fight there's no venue for it in Las Vegas. There's no tickets. And meanwhile, Linares versus Haney, tickets for that already went on sale in Las Vegas. And tomorrow, you got the UFC looking to sell out all the tickets for this trilogy. Something's happening at Top Rank.
Okay. All right. But you look alive and vibrant, though. You're looking good. You're good. You're even matching with the color of the background.
You guys should be promoters. You guys should be promoters. You're in the wrong business. You should be promoters, all you guys. Doing a better job than Eddie Hearn talking this fight up. Devastating Dave and dangerous D.
Milcar, talk to us. So they agreed to a site, but they don't want to tell us the site.
I think the issue here is that there are a number of challenges that are kind of working concurrently to put a roadblock on things progressing. And I agree with a lot of what Joe has said. I was actually on a live with Joe Sunday. Shout out to Live. I think Raphael Dawkins was on there too. And we were discussing this. And Joe and I were essentially agreeing on most things, I think. D. Jefferson, I agree with one thing you said, which is that the goal here is a $500 million fight. The problem is what Joe said. It's COVID. And the other problem with that is TV. Now, a lot of people may not realize this, but the last AJ fight with the huge site fee was obviously Saudi Arabia, but that was not on pay-per-view. It was on pay-per-view in the UK, but the times did not work out well for it to be a pay-per-view fight in the United States. And it's the United States that charges $90 per pay-per-view order. It's the United States that, as a country with 330 million people, that even if you get a sliver of that, watching a fight at $80 or $90 a pop generates tons of money. You put that fight in Saudi Arabia, what happens is it now becomes an evening primetime fight moving to an afternoon fight that doesn't necessarily translate to big numbers on pay-per-view. So again, with COVID, the challenge there is, like what Dave said, ideally for the US market and the big pay-per-view sales over here, what you'd want to do is to put it in the Raiders Stadium in Vegas, right? Sell super highly priced ringside seats and fill it with a bunch of other people up in the nosebleeds and everywhere else. But the problem with that, again, bringing it back to what Joe said, is the COVID-19 pandemic. They are still not filling venues with a lot of people. Like we just saw March Madness that usually takes place in like a football stadium converted to a basketball stadium. It wasn't happening for March Madness. Today in class, I was going over the NCAA volleyball tournament in one of my senior elective courses, which is a volleyball class. They're literally doing that in a convention center with no crowds, right? We're just not in the environment right now in the United States that would allow for a $500 million fight. And that is what I think Eddie Hearn is waiting for. This is a cash out opportunity for Matchroom. Because if AJ loses and loses twice, like his status as a premier ticket seller in the sport, he ain't going to be filling up Wembley anymore with 2 losses to Anthony Joshua. So they need to maximize revenue for this. And I'll just leave it at that.
Truth serum. People don't like the truth serum. You're going to kill him with the truth serum.
But the thing is, he's not going to lose to Fury. But that's a different story. By the way, the sites up for grabs are Gotham City, Metropolis, and Wakanda. You know what I mean? Like at this point, we could just say that, right? Like I know there's some other ones out there.
There's another one you
they don't want
forgot
to tell
about.
us.
There's one more left. There's one more left.
Which one?
Bizarro World.
I thought you were going to tell me the place where Aquaman lives under the sea.
Bizarro Atlantis.
Hey, by the way,
Bizarro
there's
World.
Shadow Realm, right? The Shadow Realm is out there. You know,
There's the Flashpoint Paradox dimension that's available as well.
I think
going on,
Phantom Zone. The Phantom Zone. I'll take the
Phantom Zone. There you go, Dangerous D. Let him know.
Shout out to Gotham City, though. I live like literally a 2-minute walk from the Joker stairs.
Okay, well, there you go. Okay, all right. You're going to be doing that dance when the fight's not official. You know what I mean? The steps. Hey, Raw Boxing. So they're telling us that they agreed to a site, but like they don't want to tell us. It's like a big secret. Like they can't tell us. You know? What's going on? Are we going to get this fight?
Man, I got to be real with you. I'm one of the optimists for this fight. That's hands down. But I'm not buying the fact that they already have a venue. And here's why. The real money for this fight is not even going to be in the United States, even though people think that this fight needs to happen in the United States. I don't think the real money to own the rights to the site on this fight is going to be in the United States. If this fight is going to take place, it's going to take place where the money flows like water through the pipes, which is Qatar, which is out there in the Middle Eastern countries. And right now, those countries, a lot of those countries, not all of them, are pretty much in the same situation that we're in. A lot of COVID restrictions, the whole deal. We don't have to go case by case or whatever the case may be. But is the fight going to happen? Yes, it will happen. Do they have a site? Maybe they have one in mind, right? But I don't buy that they have one. I think that what the man is doing right now is desperately trying to keep the fight alive in the fans' mind. But in the pursuit of doing so, he's going to run into that wall where fans is going to start saying like, okay, well, now we're being played, right? And something that is potentially true in the future can be looked at as a lie in the minds of the fan, because you keep telling us the fight's done. Oh, we got a site, but you're not telling us where, right? Now, mind you, I'm not saying the fight will never happen. I'm simply saying that the approach to this fight right now from Eddie Hearn's, I'm not sure that I'm okay with it. And I think the initial mistake was saying that, this fight was already in talk. And then after that, you have to capitalize just to keep the fight alive. You know what I mean? So.
Okay.
You know the problem we have here?
What's the problem, babe?
The lack of looking at history. All of the highest grossing fights of all time, where have they been? Where have they been?
Las Vegas, Nevada, brother.
So, and let me ask you another question. Who was the highest grossing fight of last year? Fury Wilder too.
Wilder. I think it
did better. It did way more money than Joshua Ruiz too. Why is that? Because again, nobody's gonna be able to charge as much as a Vegas casino could, right? Same thing in Cali. Cali can charge just as much as Vegas. So you try to put this fight in Saudi, you're not gonna. First of all, people aren't gonna be able to go there, right? You're not gonna be able to fill the stadium up. So you got a site fee. But what about pay-per-view numbers? What about pay-per-view costs, right? What about the tickets? If you put this in the new Raiders Stadium in Las Vegas, right? And you're selling, and you're gonna ringside seats, $5,000, $8,000. There's just no way. There's no way any place else in the world. I don't give a fuck about all these friggin' site fees. That's one facet of the revenue. Okay? Ticket prices, pay-per-views, sponsorships, all this shit. Put this, to make this fight the best it could be from a financial standpoint is putting it in Raiders Stadium in Las Vegas. That's it.
Now let me just
You don't
say
need to
this.
count. You don't need to be a mathematician for that. You don't need to be an economist.
Well,
for
you
that.
don't. And while
all
you're
you need
making
is
about,
all you need is to go. Google is your friend. Google is your friend. It's my friend. It's his friend.
I got
it's her
Alexa.
friend.
I roll with Alexa over
Whatever.
here. I don't roll with Google.
It's Google's cousin. It's Google's little brother. So whatever. That's the thing. Google is your friend. All you gotta do is Google highest grossing fights of all time. None of them are in Saudi. None of them are in the UK.
Right.
That's it.
But here's the thing though. So, but for whatever reason, there's an obstacle to make the fight in Vegas. So since you're talking about history, know your history. But hold on, though, B. Okay. When they couldn't make the fight in Vegas for Tyson Lewis, what happened?
Memphis, Tennessee.
Memphis.
That was the one I was going to raise.
Memphis.
The one exception, but
Memphis.
it was still U.S. time areas.
That's not
COVID's a
Saudi.
big exception,
That's not Saudi Arabia, though, is it? That's not Qatar, is it?
No.
My answer was going to be United States.
It's kind of like the Middle East. I did that.
My answer was going to be the United States, but
there is one other option, but they're not. They're obviously struggling with COVID there too, and it's the site of Leonard and Duran. And I don't want to be accused of anything here by raising that site, but a big fight did take place at Olympic Stadium up there. Just saying, Leonard Duran. You could look it up.
My whole point was
it has to be in these time zones, is what I'm saying, Joe.
Well, that's what I'm trying to. That's again. So that's why the highest grossing fights of all time were in the United States, not just Vegas, the United States, because of the time zone, because of the pay-per-view prices, because of the ticket prices that we charge for. No, we charge the most expensive pay-per-view prices, and we charge the most expensive ticket prices.
Facts.
When you go to and when you went to that in Memphis, do you know how much those tickets were? Did you go on freaking StubHub and try to buy a ticket for Tyson Lewis? You know how much those tickets were going for on StubHub? Some of them were going for $8,000.
Look,
no one's paying $8,000 in Saudi for a ticket.
The U.S. market is so powerful, okay, that even a fight like Ricky had in Costa Zoo was taking place at like 3 a.m. over there. And that's just how powerful it is.
And to add to your point, you're exactly right, because the highest grossing fights in the UK, the second highest grossing fight in the UK of all time is Mayweather McGregor. Right, and that's an American, and they're staying up to 5 a.m. to watch our pay-per-views. They're staying up to 5 a.m. over in the UK, and they're still selling. And our pay-per-views are still selling over 1 million pay-per-view buys over in the UK. You know why? Because they're the best boxing fans in the world. They stay up to 3 a.m, 5 a.m. They'll fly all over the globe to see boxing. We suck as fans over here. We stream fights. We don't buy anything. We're a bunch of degenerates, except for myself, who's most loyal. I buy every single pay-per-view because I'm a loser.
That's not true, though. That's not 100% true, because
they're the best fans in the world.
Well, we pay more for the zone than the rest of the world does. We pay more to watch fights than the rest of the world does. We pay more for tickets than the rest of the world does. We fund the sport more money-wise than the rest of the world does.
Collectively.
So it's not the end.
As a whole.
We prayed hard over here.
As a whole.
Joe, let me respond to this. You're absolutely right, D-Style. When it's convenient to us, when it's in a prime time slot for us, U.S. fans are not giving the same ratings to Manny Pacquiao or other fighters when they're fighting in weird time zones. We're just not doing it. It's a rare breed that gets up like Raw Boxing did and like I did at 4 or 3 in the morning to watch Joseph Parker versus Junior Fa, or getting up early to watch Ioka against Tanaka. Most U.S. fans are not doing that.
We're doing
more. Like, we're already doing enough, bro.
See, Emil, those fans are called degenerates. You understand? And I'm one of them.
Are you gonna sit there and say that the UK boxing fans aren't the best boxing fans in the world? Honestly,
they're better than the Mexican boxing fans.
No. Yes, they are. No disrespect to my Mexican brothers, but they They fly all over the world. 20,000
If you say
people will come
something
over
bad,
here.
go to Mexico and say something negative about Chavez in the middle of Mexico City.
What do you think? I'm nuts?
I gotta agree with Beeb on this because the loyalty and the money they'll spend and the way they'll follow. None of us do that. Not the Americans. We damn sure not jumping.
But like the UK,
check this out. Check this out, D. Check this out, D. When they're selling 1.6 pay-per-view buys over there in a country of 65 million people, right? We got 350 million people, right? And we do like 2 million or whatever. Them doing 1.6 is the equivalent of us doing like 5 million, D.
Bro,
Yeah,
Because of the size of their country. I'm sorry, Raw. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Nah, you good, man.
Go ahead, my bad. This adrenaline. Once this adrenaline starts.
Once you get hyped, you can't calm the beast down.
Once this adrenaline starts flowing, man, I'm like the beast from the X-Men. The adrenaline starts flowing.
every major fight in Mexico is on free TV. I've lived in Mexico. They're all on free TV. And Dillian White is a multi-millionaire because his pay-per-views do huge numbers in the UK, and he's not even a world champion.
He's doing 800,000 pay-per-view buys on the regular. He can be fighting anybody.
While it's quiet, I have to disagree with Joe that Mexican fans don't spend money on the level of the UK fans. In Vegas, when Canelo was king of Las Vegas, you will never see more wealthy Mexicans from Mexico in Las Vegas. Private jets flying family fulls of Mexicans, wealthy Mexicans, to see Canelo Alvarez. And they're equally spending the same amount of money in suites, penthouses that they. I mean, it's a boatload of money that people
more than the
will
UK
spend
though,
on
Dave.
Canelo.
More than the UK though, Dave.
Well, see, Dave,
the UK fans are exceptional as well. They are exceptional. I've seen them in full force in Las Vegas. Whether
30,000, Dave. 30,000 flying over here, Dave. 30,000 people, Dave.
Beeb, not only that,
30,000.
Dave, I agree with Dave, but look at what you say. You got the rich versus the average schmo. Like the average schmo, the average English fan, they'll save up their pence and their shillings, and they'll save that money up to get to that fight, fam.
This is how wives feel,
Dangerous D. Dangerous D. 30,000 people, Dangerous D. That's a sellout in MSG. That's a sellout in MSG.
Shut up. Whoa. Check this out.
I gotta calm down. Give me a Valium.
Right? You think the UK is the only spot in the world where boxing fans spend money to go see fights?
They're the best fans in the world. Come on, it's not even close. They're the best fans. I'm sorry.
I'm not saying they're not.
I love the Mexican people. I love the Mexican people, but I gotta be honest. I'm American, and I'm saying the UK fans are better than American fans. Come on.
Shout out to Carlos Teodoro. That's my name of my grandfather from Mexico. Okay, but I'm gonna say this. I was at the Andy Ruiz Anthony Joshua fight right here at the Garden. I went to the weigh-in. Sorry.
Tell him, Milcott. Let him know the truth.
They were literally.
That's not a fair comparison.
There were literally 10,000 UK fans.
Whoa!
For the
This is a big one, Elizabeth.
For the weigh-in, the only Mexican flags being flown that day.
After Milcar Raw goes, but go ahead.
People in Andy Ruiz's entourage. And again, shout out to Carlos Teodoro, my granddad, but that's the facts.
All right. Well,
I think we're not looking at this the right way. And here's why. We're focused on the big fights, right? But if we generalize as far as like a fan base supporting a sport, in my opinion, you'll rarely find people like Mexicans. Here's why. I'm not focused on pay-per-view stars. I'm not focused on, and here's why. You can put 2 taxi cab drivers to fight in a stadium in Mexico right now, and I guarantee you, one fight per week, every single weekend, that fight will be that venue will be packed. Another thing, I've never seen female boxing being supported as they do in Mexico. You see any female boxing in Mexico, the venues are packed completely. You see mediocre fights, the venues are packed. You see, there's actually a meal. I don't know if you know these Cubans, Giovanni Bruzon, who lives right now in Tamaulipas, Mexico. This is a Cuban kid, okay, who did his professional debut in Mexico. And My goodness. I mean, I don't see, if we're going to be focused on major pay-per-view stars, then duh. But boxing overall, you go to UK and you put 2 cab drivers per week, once a week, for the rest of the year, you will not sell them every day.
All right, but here's my thing, Raw, and I'll ask you to answer this.
The highest paid fighters are Mexican, brother.
Time out, D-Style. Okay. How many stadium fights have you seen in Mexico in the past 2 decades?
Venues, not necessarily stadiums.
No, that's a good metrics. We're talking about asses and seats. We're talking about Wembley Stadium. We're talking about the stadium, the Olympic Stadium. We're talking about the West Ham Stadium where David Hay knocked out Chisora. How many stadium fights, D-Style, have you seen in Mexico in the last 2 decades?
Hold on for 1 second. You want to talk about female boxing?
Hold up. Joe,
name another female fighter that's making 1 million, 1.2 million a fight. Katie Taylor. Katie Taylor's only one.
Hold on. Because
there's only one. She's in UK.
One at a time. One at a time. Go ahead, Raw. Go ahead. And then
you're not going to go there because I'm not referring to what a fighter makes. And I've had this conversation with female boxers from Mexico as well. Like hold on. The unfair treatment. The unfair treatment that the female boxers getting in Mexico has nothing to do whether the fans support or not. That's 2 separate arguments. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
That's not true. That's a totally inaccurate statement. Because you don't make $1.2 million if no one's coming to see you fight. That's just basic. That's economics. That's basic economics.
I clearly stated in Mexico. You're not hearing that. I understand Katie makes that because she puts butts on the seats. But this girls in Mexico put butts on the seats and they're not getting paid that. That doesn't mean that because they're not making 1.2 million.
That's the zone.
I don't see British beers. I don't see British beers in those corners.
That's the zone.
I don't see half naked women with British beers holding up cards and shit. I don't see that.
That the zone last week had 2 female fights on it.
Yes, it did.
2 female fights. 2 female fights that got a lot of attention.
Look,
one of them was the co-main event. Look at all these female. Look at all these female fights we're getting on the DAZN right now. They're being televised to us on the DAZN.
No, you don't even need to go to TV. We don't. Which is a great point. We don't need to go to purses. Also a great point.
You're out of your mind right now.
Hold up. Let me finish.
The Mexican fan base has been the heartbeat of this sport for a long, and you guys know that. Stop being ridiculous.
Let me finish my point. I'm probably the only person on this panel that watches Mexican football on the regular. I watch Pumas, okay? I watch America. I watch Chivas. I watch Cruz Azul. I watch Tigres. They got a ton of fucking stadiums in Mexico.
Los Indios, you watch them too?
I'm still waiting for the answer to my question. When is the last time you've seen a stadium fight? How many stadium fights have taken in Mexico?
I got the answer for you. Here's the cold, hard truth. All of the best Mexican fighters fight in the United States. That's why.
See, D-Style's confusing 2 things.
So Canelo couldn't sell out Azteca? Is that what we're telling me right now? If he wanted to, he could do that.
Wouldn't be able to make the same money as he would selling out at friggin' Dallas.
Well, neither does Fury. Fury fights here, so that's irrelevant.
What I'm telling you is this:
Fury's a legend.
D-Style's confusing.
Fury's a legend.
D-Style's confusing 2 things. D-Style is including Mexicans that live in the United States or people of Mexican descent from Mexican.
Shut the bullshit for a second.
Mexicans in Mexico. The reason Canelo fights in the United States is because he cannot make the amount of money he wants to make fighting in Mexico. The reason AJ doesn't have to fight in the United States is because he can make that money fighting in the UK.
I mean, if Canelo was to fight in Mexico right now,
it's not his last fight.
You don't even need a calculator.
Yo, we're kind of all over the place. People need to hear 1 person at a time. Go ahead, Raw.
I'm saying I've been hearing the money conversation, and that's not even the place where I'm even caring to talk about. Because hold on, but I just started talking. I just need 30 seconds.
Go ahead.
Let him finish me. Go ahead.
Uninterrupted. 30 seconds uninterrupted.
You got that. You got
You got
that.
the floor. You got the floor, Rob. Go ahead.
Okay,
You got
so support the millions of dollars. Congratulations, right? But that still does not mean that Mexicans in Mexico don't support boxing like hell. Here's why. Canelo may not make the money that he may not make, that he might want to make in Mexico. Fine, cool. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Mexicans going to fights in Mexico from the most irrelevant fight to the point that if tomorrow Canelo fought in Las Chivas Rayadas de Guadalajara Stadium, the stadium will be completely packed. Whether he makes the money or not, that's not even my argument. I'm talking about butts in the seats. Then we can talk about the economics. That's
But Raw, with all due respect, Raw, that's exactly what I was saying.
that's not what I was saying, though.
David Hay versus Derek Chisora took place in a stadium. Carl Frosch, okay, he fought in a stadium. It's not just AJ, all right? Even Tony Bellew took on an African dude for a cruiserweight title that most people have never even heard of. Makabu, he fought in a soccer stadium. This is not happening as much as, and no one's dogging Mexico or Mexico.
Rob, I think, Rob, this is the problem.
Debate. It's all good. You're just on the wrong side.
This is the problem. This is the problem, Rob. I got to get this in. It's so important. This is the problem, Rob. No one's questioning the passion and the desire that the Mexican fans have, but the UK fans have that as well. But they also bring the dollars with it, Rob. That's the difference. No disrespect.
You're out of your mind, Dave.
You're
out of your mind right now.
You can't pay your rent. You can't go to the bank and say, "Hey, I'm paying the rent with my heart today. I'm paying the rent with my passion today. I'm paying the rent with my desire today." You can't.
And they also take knees when they fight.
You got to go like this.
Let me just say this.
They want to see this, and if it's like nothing in
No. Okay, let's talk
up.
about that. No, whoa. That's it. Let me just get to the bottom of this shit right now, okay?
Go for it.
When they have Corona in the corner of those turnbuckles, who are they pandering to? Mexicans.
No, they're
Tecate. No, I'm gonna finish. You're gonna let me talk. Tecate. Well, what do you got? That's Mexicans, dude. They don't got no British beers up there. I see Tecate, I see Corona, I see Modelo, and freaking in the UK. That's where I see it. We got better fighters, we got a better history, and we fund the shit out of this sport. When I say it's in Texas, that's Mexican Americans funding the shit. It's not even close, dude. It just isn't. No person in their right mind, if they were asked, you could wipe one nation off of the earth, all right? And it would impact the sport of boxing. They would not pick Mexico over the UK. They would say, "Hey, UK, we love you, but we got to let you go." Okay?
You're
it's just the way
anti-UK.
it is. You want to talk
You're
money?
anti-UK. You're anti-UK. I see you.
Money. You
were burning a Union Jack. You were burning a Union Jack in your backyard last week. You were burning a Union Jack in your backyard last week. I caught you.
Right.
boxing.
Let me tell you something. Why does Canelo get paid the most? What's his core fan base be? What's his core fan base?
Honestly, you're not going to like the answer.
You're
not going to like the answer. You're not going to like the answer. He crossed over. The Americans love him. The Americans love him.
United States.
You're not going to like the answer.
The core base is a Mexican fan base.
You're not going to like the answer.
Knows that.
You're not going to like the answer.
Now, I love the UK, but it ain't better than Mexico, brother.
When Canelo and Golovkin,
hold on. You want to talk women's boxing? It's only a matter of time.
Again,
it's only a matter of time. They're dominating low weight classes.
The B pulls out the balance sheet and looks at the numbers. So when Golovkin and Canelo sold 1.2 million pay-per-view buys in the United States.
Why did that
you're not going to tell me that the majority of those buys were not American.
Why do they have Tecate and freaking Mexican beers in the corners? Why is that the majority of the sponsors then?
I'm going to tell you
Answer that question.
I'll tell you that right now.
The sponsors are stupid or what? They know what they're doing. They know who's watching, dude.
That's fine. But again,
those white Americans are watching MMA. They're not watching boxing.
Okay, is Tecate buying a million pay-per-view buys though, or are they just putting up a couple $100,000 for the sponsorship? How much do you think the sponsorship is? It's not going to generate more money than the pay-per-view buys will. Again, man, this is simple math.
Hey,
Don't
before
even
he
need a
likes-
calculator.
No, no,
You
no.
don't even need a calculator.
Joe, that's not even the answer to the question. The answer to the question is you go to Mexico, you actually live in Mexico, which I have done twice. Most Mexicans don't drink Corona, dog. Those sales are not for Mexicans in
Oh,
Mexico.
so it's for white people in the U.S.? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. That's what
It's not, dude, because Mexican Americans do drink that.
That's what I've been saying the whole time. We're talking about Mexico. You're talking about Mexican Americans. That's what
Hey,
you're
we're still the same people, brother, just on the different side of the border. Mexicans.
Same people.
Okay.
Same
Great.
people.
Great. So they include every box when you're talking about people from the UK. Exclude the Dutch Irish person.
You got to
Man,
revert.
I didn't see all those British people come over here when Amir Khan fought over here. I didn't
What?
see him over here. I saw a bunch
Hey,
of empty
these-
seats.
Hey, D-Style.
Go ahead.
Can you mind if you play that clip right there? You
What's
see
that?
that clip there? It's down there at the bottom. I just wanted to show people. It's only like 20 seconds. There you go. I just want to show people.
Because you keep telling us the fight's done. Oh, we got a fight. But you're not telling us what, right? Now, mind you, I'm not saying the fight will never happen. I'm simply saying that the approach to this fight right now from Eddie Hearns.
Go ahead.
What was that?
I don't know. It was the
Tyson.
background playing.
All right. Well, D-Style, it looks like you purposely slowed down that Fury footage. I don't know what that was all
No, I
about.
didn't do anything. That's how it was.
It was looking blazing fast when I saw that when Dave from the 408 shared it.
So,
It's all good, but Cheda, I want to say this.
Can keep up with it.
Like, I just want to make sure you guys understand right now, okay? There's no doubt that the Latino fan base, not just Mexicans now,
So we're extending.
okay, the Latino
extended it.
fan
Now extended
base
it.
has kept boxing alive in the United States. I don't give
I
a fuck
love
what anybody
this. This
says.
is the
That's
best
the truth.
debate.
Okay?
That's
the truth.
debate.
But I love the UK though. I really do. Like, I don't have an issue with the UK.
No,
but
you burn the
Now
Union Jack.
better.
You burn the Union Jack. I
Hey,
seen you do it.
Everybody wants to fight Mexican style. I never heard a fighter say, "Oh, you know, I want to fight British style."
Now
I've
we're talking
never
about
heard
fighting.
anyone say
Now we're talking
that.
about fighting styles now. That's about fight. The fans
You know
don't have
what I mean?
fighting styles. The fans don't have fighting styles.
I think we're talking about two different arguments, and that's why we're not going to reach the common grounds on this, because one's talking about fans, passion, money, and I thought the initial argument was who supports boxing more.
That's what I thought.
That's what and my simple hold on, let me put the mic, the volume on my headphones up a bit. My simple thing is, regardless of how much money the country, the fans are bringing forward, I still don't think that if you put mediocre fights inside of a 10,000 people arena or 5,000 people arena every weekend, I doubt that the UK can
That's not
handle that.
true. No, I disagree with that.
Then I'm a liar, bro.
Let me tell you this, Raw. When I see a fight on the level of a Tony Bellew Makabu fight,
How often do you see that, though, Emil? That's my point. How often?
they have a stadium fight usually once or twice a year.
Connor
I-
Connor Ben. Connor Ben's a prospect, and he's selling out. He's selling the
Now
numbers
watch
he's
this.
doing.
Now watch this. Hold on. Now watch this. Let's backtrack to 2019 before COVID and look at Boxeo Estelar, Friday Night Boxing. What's the name of the Friday Night Boxing that they put through Telemundo? What's the name of that? Solo Boxeo in Mexico, where people that fight there, 90% of them, we don't even know who they are, and they got horrible records. And when the cameras are pointed to the bleachers, what do you see? Not an empty single seat.
Yeah,
That's-
but
And when you're talking about money, here's the problem. Here's the problem.
I'm talking
One's a
about
poor country, bro. One's a rich country.
Hold up.
That's not like.
Whoa.
I'm just saying.
First of all, now you're disrespecting Mexico. Because if you look at economics and you look at the richest countries in the world, Mexico's on the list. Mexico's problem financially is with the distribution of wealth.
Government. The government.
Well, duh.
Government.
Like most people are poor. They have a lot of rich people.
Okay.
Yes, I live in the border, brother. I think I know about Mexico.
Mexico is very rich in natural resources. Very rich in natural resources.
Let me finish my
Let's not go there. I mean, I understood what he was trying to say. I mean, the resources of a nation it's Mexico has it in abundance from produce to oil to
Exactly.
tourism,
Exactly.
But what D-Style was referring to is the personal economics of the average Joe over there.
But Raw, here's the thing. Mexico has like almost at least twice the population of Britain. So even if you take if you take the middle class in Mexico, the middle class in Mexico is more than the population of Great Britain. It just is. So
Correct.
I don't want to be hearing people crying.
Can I get the numbers in that? 'Cause there really isn't a middle class in Mexico, brother.
Can I just say one thing? I'd
like to see the numbers.
I'm gonna just say one thing, and I'm not even gonna say anything anymore about it. Let me just leave you with this point.
This is not
You have a country with 65 million people in it, selling out stadiums, 90,000, 100,000. That's number one. You got a country, 65 million people, that's doing on average. You got a guy like Dillian White doing 800,000. You got Tony Bellew doing almost 1 million. You got David Haye doing 1 million on a country with 65 million people. Now, when you do the math, right? What would that translate over to the population of the United States? That's the equivalent to the United States doing like 4 million, 5 million pay-per-views.
How often?
On the regular, Dillian White is still he's fighting guys like Povetkin and doing numbers.
Beep, I know that. But here's the thing, though.
Now watch this, Beep, so you can see what I've been trying to say. I get what you're saying, Beep, but these guys are not fighting every weekend. When we're telling you Boxeo Azteca, we're talking about an every Friday night.
They put on more fights in Mexico. Mexican fighters fight more.
Now watch this. Aside from that, every weekend when you look at the bleachers, before Corona, bro, sold. That's what
irrefutable. Irrefutable.
That's what I mean by the support. Now,
irrefutable.
If you want to bring in that the UK puts bigger venues, maybe not as often, but bigger, with bringing in more money, then that's not even my argument. That's something you can't.
What's crazy? You know what's crazy, Raw? But that a fight like Povetkin and White can draw so much attention. A fight like that, United States, no one would even care about that fight. That's what I'm trying to say.
But we also know the following: boxing is not a middle class sport; it's a poor man's sport. That's another thing I wanted to touch on really quick. Everybody knows that the minimum wage in Mexico is $3.50 an hour or some shit like that. Okay, I drive in the border. I see all the pueblos across the border, brother. Okay, there's a lot of poor people. There's a lot of poverty in Mexico. But they love boxing. They love boxing, brother. Like it's just something they love. They go to they fill up the bullfighting rinks and shit, like they fill those up, man. Like they watch boxing religiously. Yep. We cannot just say, "Oh, well, look at the money." Well, first of all, nobody here has the figures as far as the money goes, because when Canelo fights, okay, when Marquez was fighting, the streets were fucking empty in Mexico City.
Well, let me tell you.
Let me chime in real quick, guys.
Yeah, let's go.
D-Style, the love. I'm just listening to you, brother, and the love of boxing. You got to realize something here, too. I feel you with the dedication and the love of the Mexican people for boxing, but if you look at any sport, any country worldwide, and you look at a sport like boxing, where that shit was created at, bro, you got to understand these people are just as dedicated, fam. Like, let's keep it a beam. That's where the damn sport was created. And I understand the level of dedication.
I get it, but
hold on. Hear me out. Now, I ain't said nothing. I just been sitting back listening to you guys.
Get him.
I get it with the level of dedication, but I've been to the UK as well. I think Amilcar as well. These people freaking love their boxing, fam. They are just as diehard and dedicated, and you're going on. I don't want to go more on the level of how people love boxing.
D,
they love it over there, bro. They love it.
I know they love their sport in
England. It's like a religion to them, fam. Just like
no. Whoa. I know it is, but it's a debate, and I'm debating that Mexico loves it more. It's a debate. It's a show. Everybody loves it. There's no debate in the because I'm just telling you right now that Mexico's where it's at.
I think the English love it.
Hold on, let me say this. I can guarantee, and I'm not going to try to sound arrogant here, but I'm pretty sure that I'm the only one on this panel that's been to multiple fights in both the UK and Mexico. I've been to pro fights in Cancun. I've been to pro fights in Mexico City. Okay. I've seen fights live in both places. The passion is not what we're debating here. The passion of fighters, of fight fans that go to these fights is par. It's equal. It's absolutely the same. There's no the fight fan that goes to a fight in Cancun versus the fight fan that goes to a fight in Liverpool. We're talking about the same people. They're cut from the same cloth. What I'm saying is that in the UK, every year you have multiple fights in stadiums. That can be Josh Warrington. That can be Kell Brook. That can be Tony Bellew. That can be David Haye. You name it. They have multiple stadium fights a year. And all due respect, they have those small shows in the UK. I've been to shows at Alexandra Palace. I've been to shows at other small venues in London. They get filled up too.
Then you obviously misunderstood me, because my thing wasn't whether there is show or not. My thing is there those kinds of show Friday after Friday after Friday after Friday after Friday, 52 Fridays out of every single year like there is in Mexico?
The problem is,
I've never seen it.
I'll tell you, but there's a reason why, and the reason is simple. We're all in America. Mexico's part of America. Canada, part of America. We're all on the same time zones. Mm-hmm. We see that content. The fact is, it's only been in the past few years where we've started to see stuff happening internationally in places like France with Tony Yoka, in places like England, and it's happening because of ESPN Plus in the Zone. There are fights taking place every week in the UK. Trust that. Pull up any boxing schedule in the UK. There's fights taking place from leisure centers to arenas to fucking stadiums.
Selling out?
Yeah.
Selling out?
Yeah, no, and I'm
for a fact that every weekend they're selling out whatever venue they throw.
Pre-COVID, absolutely.
Oh, okay. Then I guess, man, hey, listen, man. Last I checked, man, maybe we need to start here in America. We're doing it wrong, man. Pandering to the Mexican crowd, that's the biggest mistake.
Oh, like this fighters, that's right. Like start saying you want to be British style or something. You know what I mean? I don't know what they're doing.
No, but the fact is our world is based on stereotypes. People see Europeans as European bums and as soft. And
you're saying that. I've never said that.
No, I don't see them as that.
No,
not as good as the Mexican fighters.
He said the world does, and it's true. A lot of the majority of the fans, so he's talking about the world, not us on the panel, and I agree with that. They do. They sleep on those things, those other guys.
Hey guys, it's a great discussion.
Yeah, move on.
I just want to make this really, really clear. Okay,
the best debates we ever had on this show. This is probably one of the best debates we've had on this show.
I know that they're passionate in the UK. You don't have to tell me that. You're like, I see it. I've seen it. Okay, right? So they sing along while they do it in Mexico too. Like they sing Cerrito Lindo and all that good stuff. Okay, but. Wow, look at that.
That's my only answer to this.
Hey, G Funky and Christine in the building. They've been patiently waiting.
Hey, guys.
Greetings, everyone. Greetings.
We're having a debate on, and I want to say that, yes, it is a rivalry with UK and Mexico. Some people were putting in the chat, and bring it on. That's all I say, and it's fun. But with that said, hey, Christine.
Hey.
What do you think of AJ versus Joshua? I'm sorry, Joshua versus Fury. Is the fight going to happen?
It's got to happen. I want to see it. I mean, we all want to see it. You know, it's a money fight. Why not? You know, we're hearing rumors that it's going to happen, but we haven't heard any definite date or anything. It's got to happen. You know, definitely. I'm hoping it happens.
All right. Are you able to see us, by the way?
I can see some of y'all. It's like I'm in this dorm, you know, and it's like this internet is so bad. Can y'all see me and hear me?
We definitely appreciate you being here, though. Well, we see you, though. We see you. All right? Wait for the chat. Wait for the chat. All right? There you go. Hey, but here's the thing, though. Like, if England was all that, if UK was all that, then why did Fury dress up as a Mexican Okay, for a fight then. Like he wanted to be Mexican so bad and shit.
Because
You know what I mean?
Mexicans
Davis
rule.
did too.
Mexicans rule. Come on,
Because he's-
man. You know.
And he's trying to gain American audience and American fans. And in the United States, Mexican Americans are the biggest fucking boxing fans. We all know this.
Well,
You-
Mexicans too. Mexicans and Mexican Americans.
I'm talking
That's right.
about the United States. In the United States.
And all Latinos, by the way, all Latinos.
I
Right?
love when he does the Latinos. I love when he does that.
At the end of the day,
Because that's a fact.
if Mexicans
Absolutely.
stopped watching boxing in the United States, boxing would virtually implode. We know this.
Absolutely.
We know
So-
this. It's a fact.
Hey,
But-
Chief
Canelo,
Funky's been-
Canelo said that too. Canelo said, "I'm going to embrace not just the Mexican people, but the Latino people."
There we go. See
That
what
was
I
a great.
mean?
That was a
And
great.
all that good
That was a
stuff. But hey,
great.
guys,
That was a great thing he said. I liked when he did that.
That-
most of it, but guys,
you got to finish the rest of the quote. He said that because he's got a lot of haters in Mexico. David Fedelstein on ESPN being the main one. That's why that was the full quote.
In the same way Oscar De La Hoya had it, in the same way up to a certain point in his
That's a lot
career,
of jealousy. That's a lot of jealousy when a Mexican.
Senior had it.
Yeah.
X.
It's-
When a Mexican fighter comes over the United States and starts making money,
Look,
I think
it's-
I think a lot of people back home resent
hey,
that. They
but
get a little
hey,
jealous.
Ron, I think
Get
you
a
want to
little
make
jealous.
a point. Go ahead, Ron.
Ron,
Go
I'm sorry.
ahead, and I
Go ahead,
gotta go
Ron.
to Chief Funky because he's
think-
been waiting patiently. But go
Let
ahead,
it
Ron.
flow, Ron. Let it flow. Let it flow.
I think it's real easy. It's often when you see something like that, like the local fighter, super successful, gets hated by their own people. Mayweather was the prime example in his last. Mayweather being a black American fighter, super successful. This came out of his mouth, okay, not Rangers, and it's still up in his Instagram. He said, most of the hate towards me comes from my own people.
Yep.
So this ain't nothing new. It's not just a Canelo.
No.
Chavez dealt with it. De La Hoya dealt with it. Now Canelo's dealing with it. I'm sure that if you look at Ryan Garcia, if Ryan Garcia blows up, he's gonna be hated by Mexicans in Mexico. It just happens all the
That's
time.
true.
I mean,
That's true.
Bro,
That's true.
look how
Ron.
many UK people hate Joshua. He's massive, and they hate him. A lot of them hate him.
All right, guys. Chief Funky, are we gonna see the fight with AJ? Because they say they have a site, but are we gonna get to see the fight?
I think so, man. I really do. I like what I'm hearing, and the thing is this: I know people are getting impatient and stuff like that. I am too, but a fight that's this big, the heavyweight undisputed championship of the world. Like these guys said, the UK fans, really great fans. So they got to figure out a place to put this to where they can get the fans in, and I'm sure it's not easy with COVID protocols and all that type of stuff, but I'm pretty confident it's going to happen. We see AJ talking about how he's putting on his running boots. Sounds like he's going to start, training. We see Fury. We've already seen clips of him in the gym hitting the mitts and hitting the bag and stuff like that. So I'm pretty confident that the fight's going to happen, man. They're both getting in training, and now Eddie Hearn saying that they have a venue, and I'm pretty confident, man. And I'm excited. I want to see it. Undisputed, baby. I'm all about that.
Get him, G. Get him, G.
Hey, shout out to Tangible Boxing, Tracy Boxing Girl, Toby, JC. We appreciate you guys being here. Man, I had like 10 topics. We've got through one. Okay, but it's okay. We'll get through all of it. It's what it is. But I'm going to go ahead and make sure we do this. Let's get through this one right away. Demetrius Andrade is going to be fighting Liam Williams. We all know he's going to beat the dude, okay? But, and if anybody disagrees, go ahead and let me know. But assuming he wins this fight, my main question is, will Andrade get his big fight? And if you don't think he is, what is he doing wrong and what should he do? Maestro, get us started with Andrade.
Well, I don't know who that is, but I know who Demetrius Andrade is. And
Andrade.
Andrade.
It's not Andrade. It's Drade, actually. I'm telling you it is.
It's actually Andrade.
Boo-boo.
Not.
Whoa.
Andrade.
I sat next to his cousin at a fight,
Okay.
and people were yelling Andrade, and he's telling them, no, it's Andrade.
Okay.
That's the Cape Floridian. That's the Cape.
Well, his
That's the
cousin
Cape
did,
Floridian.
so,
That's the Cape Viridian. That's the Cape Viridian
But
pronunciation.
it's all right. It's all right. Hey, guys, we're on limited time, so let's go. Let's go. Give me your thoughts on that, Milcar. Go ahead.
Okay, so his problem is one, he doesn't have a big fan base. He hasn't really done himself much of a service in terms of finishing opponents when he's had the opportunity to do so. We've seen him really fuck guys up, like in the middle of rounds, and knock them down multiple times in fights, and just not close the show and kind of end the fight in a more boring fashion than he started it with. The fact is, and not to extend our argument from before, but as much as we don't like to think that the financial element is important, it's not how I judge a fighter's value, but it's definitely how fighters judge their opponent's value. And the equation is always risk versus reward, right? And unfortunately for Andrade, he does not present much reward, and he presents a very high risk. So if you are a Triple G, you're not going near him. If you are a CHarlo who's getting good minimums and making good paydays, fighting other guys, you're not going to go near him. And the other problem he has is what I call the WBO dilemma. The WBO, regardless of what we think, maybe it is what we think. I'll tell you what I think. I think it's definitely a secondary title. I don't think people really respect it the way they respect the WBC, the WBA, and the IBF. It only recently became, quote unquote, a major title. And what happens is when you're fighting for that title and you're ranked with that title, you're not ranked by anybody else, so you never become a mandatory challenger. So he's got this secondary title, living off in a silo, defending it against lesser tier opponents, and no one feels pressed to unify with him. Like, why would they? So that's it for me for right now.
Hey, 408, talk to us, man. What do you think he has to do to get that big fight? Will he get it? Whatever you define as a big fight, unification, a Canelo fight, something.
I don't think he's going to get us a big fight. He's only had like one really major signature fight, and that was against Vanis Matarazzian years ago. And in that fight, it wasn't like he knocked the guy out. I don't know where he does have some power, but he doesn't finish guys. And he seems to stink up the joint. It's commonly said. The last time he headlined a fight in Miami, people actually left the event. And he was the main event. He's got to step up to the plate and be a showman. That's what he lacks. Now, he has tremendous talent. He's a former Olympian. He just doesn't seem to get the attention of other fighters despite his trash talking. Maybe he's just too much of a nice guy, but he's going to need to start putting it in, doing what Conor Benn did this weekend if he wants to attract the attention of some big names.
Well said. Well said. Hey, D. Jefferson, talk to us, man. Is Andrade going to get a unification? A fight that we care about?
It's an enigma because with Demetrius Andrade, I think it's a combination of Demetrius Andrade making bad decisions himself, and also Eddie Hearn and DAZN not really pushing to get him into the fights that he needs. I mean, look, we give the PBC enough heat for not putting unifications and putting their guys together, like Plant Benavidez. People cried about that. Well, let's be real. DAZN has Murata, GGG, and Demetrius Andrade over there. Like, you are paying these guys. It gets to a point where, you put your foot down like, look, man, we're paying you all this money. This is the fight you're going to make. I don't care how it gets to be done or how they're going to get it done, but they should be unifying their champions. Eddie Hearn and DAZN too worried about Jaime Munguia and GGG, a fight that's never going to happen. To me, they stalled Demetrius Andrade out till he had to seek a new option, which ended up being Liam Williams. Why didn't they push for that fight earlier? So it's a combination of, Demetrius Andrade and his business decisions, the Rock Nation deal, or whether it be that he turned down the Korobov fight, he didn't fight Derevarenchenko. Those names on his resume could have gave him stock. So when you move forward later, you demand these fights, right? Because the fans want it. But like somebody alluded to, he stinks up the joint. His balance is terrible. He lacks the willingness to engage. It draws out of the pocket as he's throwing punches. He doesn't plant his feet. So there's a lot of things that he does wrong, and it looks sloppy, and you have no stock in you. So between DAZN and his business decisions and his fighting style, I'm not so sure, man. It's an enigma whether he gets a good fight or not.
Well, so was it Rob Boxing? What's going on with Andrade? And are we going to keep seeing fights like this one? Or is he going to get a fight that we care about?
I mean, pretty much D took the words out of my mouth. The mistakes of the downhill for this guy started when he had the golden opportunity of facing the number one guy at 154 pounds in Erislandy Lara. And he turned it down simply for the excuse that, well, he's boring. Well, okay, he's boring, but so are you, right? And then and this is something that you could have said, you know what? This is the guy that beat me in the amateurs. Let me beat him just to get a little bit of credibility, right? And then after that, all of the names that D mentioned, right? I mean, it doesn't matter how good he is and whether people feels he's being disrespected. He's not being disrespected. He's going through the consequences of his decisions as we speak. And I also agree with D. I think that DAZN is not doing enough. Why are they not doing enough? Well, maybe because the boxer is not helping also. Remember, sometimes the company wants to help, but you got to show something. You know, I can't just invest, and you just collect without putting forth the effort that we're looking for, quite frankly, that the fan and the consumer is looking for. So it's a combination of everything, and I think Demetrius Andrade will retire in the conditions he's in right now without that super mega star status. Nothing to do with skills. For those, I don't want people to misunderstand me. This has nothing to do with the man's boxing skills. It's all in all to do with his situation due to his decisions. That's it.
Okay. All right. Hey, Beep, talk to us, man. I mean, first of all, do you think the Machine's going to win? You know, because he's got that nickname, the Machine. But if not, what do you think, Andre? What does he have to do, bro? You know, or what is he doing wrong? You know, break it down for us.
Well, the big thing he's doing wrong, first of all, I don't think he's going to lose this week. And the big thing he's doing wrong is he's always blaming someone else, never taking full responsibility for his own career. Just piggybacking off of what Ross said, you know, he made decisions in his career. He's got to live with the decisions he made. He's always had promotional problems. Just recently signed with Hearn, maybe 2 years ago. And even now he's got the promoter and he still can't get the big fights. There's been, you know, in 2014, he fought one time. 2015, he fought one time. 2018, he fought one time. 2020, he's been inactive. He, I believe, he's not really passionate about the sport of boxing. And I don't really think he's this boogeyman that he tries to put himself up to be. He's a very talented fighter. He's a good fighter. He's a championship level fighter. He's a world-class fighter. He's 33 years old, though. He's starting to exit his prime. He's going to be on the way down right now. Had a tough fight with Kolke. Had a couple tough fights with Mataroshin. And these are guys that he's supposed to be levels above. Now, did he fight down to the levels opposition? I don't know. But he's looked very uninspired and sometimes even bored and disinterested in these matchups. So you have to ask yourself, does this guy really want it? He sat down right next to Billy Joe Saunders, and Billy Joe Saunders said, I don't think either one of us is ready for Golovkin right now. And he didn't say anything.
Correct.
He didn't be like, no, maybe you're not ready, but I'm ready. He just accepted it. So, you know, Canelo fought Erislandy Lara. It was probably got to be the toughest style matchup you could ever fight. So if he's gonna get willing to get in the ring with Erislandy Lara, he's willing to get in the room with Billy Joe Saunders. You really think he's concerned about friggin' Demetrius Andrade? If Demetrius Andrade wants Canelo, step up to 168. There's no way he's going to go down to 160 and chase you. You want that Canelo fight? Go up to 168. Challenge him. I guarantee you. Go up there to 168. Win a title at 168. I guarantee you he will not avoid you. Because the data shows you he won't. Canelo fought Trout. He fought Lara. Two difficult southpaw styles that you can't look good against those guys. Why would he not want to fight a guy like Andre? Again, correct. You got to look at history. You can't ignore empirical data. When it's right, Google is your friend. It's your friend.
Okay. All right. Christine Lopez, talk to us. Andre, do you think Liam Smith or what? I forgot his name actually. Liam William, whatever.
The machine is going to win. Yeah. I'm just gonna say, I want to say it correctly. I'm just gonna say Boo Boo, not Andrade. When he first came on the scene, I was like totally about him. I thought he was textbook. He could box. He was amazing. And then after a while, he just sizzled out for me. He has 0 knockouts. He's not excited for me either. And the thing is if you've got Eddie as your promoter and you can't make things happen, then I don't think anybody can. I'm not really too excited about this fight. I'm gonna watch it just because I'm a boxing head, but it doesn't do anything for me. A big name that I'm also not too excited about that maybe he could fight is Murata. But the Canelo fight that he's talked about, move up because he's not coming down to you. But I don't see anything in his future. I really don't. I'm just I don't want to say that he's boring, but I'll take a lot of breaks during his fight. I'll just say that to get a cold drink or to text. I'm just not that impressed with him, and I hate to say that because I had high hopes for him, but he's just not doing anything for me.
Take the trash out.
Hey, Chief Funky.
Wash the dishes.
Talk to us. Talk to us.
I don't wash dishes.
Talk to us, Chief Funky. What's going on with Andrade, man? First off, do you think that Liam is going to beat him? And if not, we'll just skip that and tell us what does he have to do to secure a fight that people care about.
No, I don't think this guy's got a snowflake's chance in hell to beat Andrade Saturday, and I believe that this guy's been beat by that dude that Canelo beat, Liam Smith, right? That dude knocked him out. So I mean,
knocked him out. Yeah.
I don't see him having a chance unless he lands a lucky punch, and even then, I don't think that will happen. But I don't know, man. It's a hard thing, man. I agree with a lot of what everybody had to say here about the way that Andrade's moved his career and the things that he's done, the decisions that he's made. For a guy who's supposedly the boogeyman, he's turned down some fights himself. So we can't sit here and say he's the boogeyman. You turning down fights, you're no boogeyman. I'm sorry. That's not gonna fly with me. Have some guys not wanted to fight him, yes, but I mean boogeyman, no. And he's definitely got to figure out a way to put on better performances. Like, we know you can box, man. We all know that you can box. We all know that you're a southpaw and things like that. But you got to finish these guys, man. I remember I called his last fight here on my channel. I believe he knocked a guy down 2 or 3 times in the first 2 rounds. And he ends up going 12. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's just not appealing to fans, man. It's just not. For the purists like all of us here on the panel and a lot of the people watching, we understand boxing. We appreciate boxing. But if you want to capture that casual eye, you got to put on some good performances, man. Look, everybody loves the knockouts, man. Why do you think Mike Tyson was such a big sensation? He's knocking guys out quickly. Everybody loves the knockout. So if you could get it, man. But he just doesn't step on the gas for some reason. I hope he does this Saturday so he can get himself a big fight. But we'll see, man. I really don't have a lot of faith in him anymore, though.
Absolutely. Shout out to Al Dub in the chat. H Money, Mr. The Zone. We got Tracy Boxer Girl, JC. Making people mad out there while he's representing Ringside Reporter with that logo. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? Mad Dog H, what's going on? And Al Dub says, shout out to Christine. So there you go.
Stop. Can I say this real quick, fam? Because I didn't say anything about the match, like who would win. I actually think that people are sleeping on Liam Williams and his chances of winning. I picked Demetrius Andrade, but I'm going to tell you something. The thing with Demetrius Andrade, which is part of his problem and how exciting his fights is that a guy that will continuously pressure him, if they can get to him, I think that's the guy that has a chance to beat him. Liam Williams is going to keep coming at Demetrius Andrade. Balance is his issue. He's been dropped before, right? So I'm not saying Liam beats him, but I think Liam has more of a chance than people believe he does because I'm not as high on Demetrius Andrade as a lot of. He has a lot of fundamental flaws, bro. He has a lot of fundamental flaws.
Lie to me, D. Tell me he's going to win. Lie to me.
No, I ain't gonna
I hope
lie
he
to
does
you.
win. I hope he does win.
Yeah, I'm rooting
free up
for
that.
him. It's like Felix Verdejo and
Hey, wait.
Nakatani. I was rooting for Felix Verdejo, but I knew Nakatani was going to win. I picked him to win.
Yeah.
This is the same situation. I'm rooting for Leon Williams, but I pretty much figured Demetrius is going to win.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will see. We will see. Let's go ahead and proceed here. All right. Let's go ahead and proceed. Check it out, guys. Check this out. All right. Arnold Barboza and Jr. Now, if you don't know who he is, that's cool. Okay, but he fights at 140 pounds. He's 25-0, 10 knockouts. Why am I bringing him up? Well, he wants to beat up and he wants to show the disloyal Teofimo Jr. a lesson. He wants to teach him a lesson. Why does he want to teach him a lesson? You say, well, what did he do? Because he's being disloyal to Top Rank, right? He said, you know what? If Top Rank needs him punished, I will punish him. Put him in the ring with me. I will beat him up for Top Rank. Now, ironically, the dude says, you know, give me a little more money and then I could do it. You know what I mean? Like, put that aside. And he wants to punish him. You know, he's a company man. He's a loyal dude. You know what I mean? How dare Teofimo Jr. go get more money from Triller? How dare you accept a record payday that was 3 times the amount that Top Rank offered? How dare he? I will fight him. I will punish him. Christine, what are your thoughts on this?
It's prize fighting, baby. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he can't say he wouldn't have done it. You know, and he didn't say that he would beat him up. He said he would F him up. But he also said for, you know, the right amount of money. So, you know, he's doing pretty much the same thing as anybody would do. That fight between him and Salcedo, that was fire. He's a tough dude. He's been 140. He's strong. He's tough. That would be a good fight, actually. But is he really a loyal Top Rank fan, or is he also looking for his payday? You know, what is it?
Okay.
Right here, girl. Right.
All right. Talk to me, Ranger, aka Raw Boxing TV. Talk to us. What are your thoughts?
It's pretty ironic that he's wanting to punish Teofimo for betraying Top Rank and taking more money somewhere else, while in the process asking for more money himself in order to do what he's wanting to do to somebody who went after more money, right? Well, here's what I got to say to that. I think it's ridiculous. And for those fans that might have the same mentality, say I'm a prize fighter right now. My loyalty is not to my promotional company. My loyalty, it's just going to sound horrible, but this is true at the end of the day. My loyalty is not even to my fans. My loyalty is to my skills in my bag, because my skills alone is going to bring the fans, the ones that love me and the ones that hate me. So if I'm fighting with Joe Louis here as a promoter who's giving me $50 million a fight, but I have the legal ways of going to Joe Blow who's giving me $38 million a fight, and we've never met, sorry, Joe, you're going to have to wait till my next fight. That's if you can come up with the money that I'm being offered somewhere else. It's prize fighting. It's where I'm putting my body through the risk of being killed in exchange for a lump sum of money. Therefore, since the risk of me being killed is really high, then I want a really high number in my paycheck. Stop all this loyalty stuff. Besides, when was the last time we've seen Top Rank be extremely loyal to some of their best fighters that they've had in the last 10, 15 years? Where is the loyalty from Top Rank to Guillermo Rigondeaux? Where is it? It never existed. As a matter of fact, when Guillermo Rigondeaux completely embarrassed and schooled the cash cow that Top Rank had, they went on a campaign to publicly humiliate and demote the guy that was paying commission to be promoted, right? Now Teofimo Lopez destroys the other cash cow, and what did Bob do? Tries to do the exact same thing, but Triller to the rescue, baby. The new kid in the block, and has a fat pocket as well. That's what I got to say.
All right. Al Dub, comment there. Talk to us, Maestro. What are your thoughts? You know, he's saying he's going to punish him and beat him up for being disloyal to Top Rank. How dare he?
Does everyone here remember the character Steven from Django Unchained?
Yes, sir.
That's that dude.
Fact.
That's the house Negro on the plantation. Look, well, you know about Aroldis Chapman, right?
Yes.
And obviously you know about Teofimo Stevenson, right?
Correct.
All right. Well, those dudes share something in common with me. Like, my family left Jamaica way ago and went over to the island of Cuba in the Caribbean. You want to know what my family was doing in Jamaica? They were slaves on a sugar plantation. All right. And every sugar plantation had a number of black people who were whipping the other slaves at the behest of the master. And that is what this dude seems to believe that he is. He is the black man whipping his fellow black man at the behest of the white slave owner, aka Mr. Bob Arum, aka Massa Bob.
Monsieur Condi.
That's what that is. And I feel like I can say that because I've already outlined the ancestry for all of you. So when I hear people like that talking that way, that is what I feel. And I'll be honest, I work with people who are like this. You know, they want to do everything the boss, which I never consider a person a boss. I refer to them as supervisors. They're there just to make sure that I'm doing a good job. I never have a slave to boss mentality, but we all work with these people. Brown nosing, pussy licking, ass licking, the boss to get higher in the pecking order. And I think we can all relate to what this dude is saying, and I'll leave it at that.
On the money, bro.
Hey, G, fucking talk to us. What do you make, man? He's gonna punish Teofimo. You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't know what else to say after that. I mean, that's a tough one to follow.
Well, he's being disloyal to Top Rank. Talk to us. He's being disloyal.
But I agree. I agree with what you guys are saying. This is company man 101, and I'm sure we all hate a company man unless you are a company man, you know. But in all seriousness, I think it's just a bad choice of words to try to get himself a fight with Teofimo when he decides to move up to 140. But definitely a garbage way to do it, to say, oh, you're just loyal to the promotional company. I'm going to punish you now. Like, the fuck out of here, man. Nobody's that loyal to their regular jobs. Are they going to be loyal to this guy when he didn't want to pay him no money? And you're absolutely right, Raw. They did Rigo dirty, and they tried to do the same thing with Teofimo after he beat Lomachenko. So, yeah, I agree with you guys, man. This is stupid and company man shit.
What's going on, guys?
Can I just add something
Really
to
quick,
what you was saying? He referred it to Calvin. How many of you guys remember this guy?
I don't know what that is. What's that?
That's the Office from The Office. This is the definition of a company man right here. Yeah. Okay? This is the definition. You've never seen The Office? You need to go slap
hilarious.
Let's guys. We're on time here, but hey, Beeb, talk to us. What do you make of these comments, brother?
Yeah, to be honest with you, L Dub, I think mentioned it in the chat as well. I just think this is just hype for him to get a fight with Teofimo Lopez when Teofimo Lopez moves up. I wouldn't even be surprised if they were talking behind the scenes and just trying to create this drama just to make stir up some controversy so they can promote their fight. Because I don't think Teofimo Lopez is going to be able to get the winner of Ramirez versus Taylor right away, and he may need one fight first before he gets the winner of that. And this could be his first fight at 140. So why not try to make some noise, create a buzz for this fight by talking trash? So I don't even think that he may even believe this. I think that he's just probably trying to hype the fight, get himself a fight, talk a little trash, make it interesting, create a little social media beef online, get people talking, and this will just hype their fight up. So that's what I think. I don't buy too much into him being a company man. I think Raw is 100% correct. I mean, a fighter's loyalty is to himself and to his family. He's there to take care of himself. He's there to take care of his family, because when he's retired and he has to go off into the sunset, no one cares about him but himself and his family, hopefully, if his family's still there for him. So that's what it's all about.
The thing is,
wouldn't it be crazy if he lost the fight and he got cut by Top Rank?
What a poetic justice, little poetic
Yo,
justice.
really quick, Maestro, because I got to go to D, but go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say the mentality of the house slave is to advance himself and his interests and his family by throwing everybody else under the bus. So he actually thinks he's doing that. He actually thinks he's doing what you're suggesting, but he's doing it in an undermined, shitty way by downgrading someone else.
Bad look. It's a bad look. Is what you're saying.
It's a bad look.
Okay, fair enough.
People do my job right now. It is what it is.
Fair enough.
D. Jefferson. What do you make, man? He's gonna show. He's gonna teach him a lesson for being like disloyal to Top Rank. You know what I mean? And but of course he wants more money now. To do it. But what are your thoughts?
Man, everybody kind of cleared it up. Christine alluded to it. Who in this sport don't clout chase? I mean, guys that's trying to make something of themselves. Who doesn't clout chase? Hell, Ryan Garcia has a name, and he's clout chasing, right? So it's a clout chasing thing. What L-Dub said, this is a positioning situation. There's guys that he can still fight. Jose Cepeda, Teofimo Lopez going up there would be a much better fight than Barboza, right? And then let's be honest about Barboza. He has two significant fights, two that you can talk about, wins, that is. One was in, I think, 18 or 17 against Reed. Remember Reed that was knocked out in the second round right before Barboza beat him, right? And then he has this Saucedo fight where he was knocked down in the damn fight, even though he won the fight. I mean, this is not Teofimo Lopez material. I think George Kambosos Jr. has as much chance to win this fight as Barboza. Let's be serious. But honestly, man, I agree with you guys. It's a clout chasing thing, positioning, trying to set himself up for that fight when Teo moves up to. He has one fight after Kambosos Jr., if that, and he's going to 140. That's simple. Okay. So it's a positioning move, in my opinion.
All right, makes sense. Andre Rodriguez, shout out to you in the chat there. Look, 408, talk to us. Well, what do you make, man? He says he's going to punish him.
I chuckled at that, man. I actually am a fan of Arnold Barboza, and I've a prospect I'm kind of been watching his development on. But listen, he's just straight up clout chasing. There's the biggest news that we're going to probably touch on in just a moment is that Tank Davis is moving up, and Mario Barrios gets that lottery on a pay-per-view, someone that's probably not deserving of a pay-per-view. But earlier, when we spent a whole hour on the first topic, I was laughing my ass off because I was thinking of The Office, Raw Boxing. There was a scene where Steve Carell is putting together a dream team basketball team for after work, and the only Mexican guy in the office says, hey, I play a little basketball. I could be on the team. And Steve says to him, if I'm putting together a soccer game or a boxing event, I'll call you.
And that makes a lot of sense.
Thank you, guys.
There you go. Let me tell you guys something, okay? You ain't going to punish it, and ain't nobody want to see that fight anyway, okay? like he says he wants to fight the winner of Taylor Ramirez. Ain't nobody clamoring to see Barbozas get bombarded by a bunch of fucking combinations of Teofimo Lopez. Ain't nobody want to see that. So at the end of the day, I don't think he's gonna get the fight anyway. Okay, and I predict that this dude won't last three years at Top Rank. You think Arum cares if you're loyal? Like, hey, Arum, but I'm loyal though. He don't give a shit. Okay, if you ain't bringing the money, yeah, he don't give a shit what you are. Okay, and you're asking for more money. That's not what you do when you're the company man. What are you doing?
Pedraza or Cepeda would get that fight before Barboza. Pedraza or Cepeda easy. We get that fight before Barboza.
Yeah, I mean, no
even Baranchek is a live dog. Baranchek too.
Right, Ivan Baranchek. Exactly. Right.
Hey, I want to bring up, because we're talking about, I want to talk about elite fighters now. You know what I mean? And enough about talking about dudes like Barbozas. I want to talk about elite fighters. You know what I mean? I want to talk about dudes that are movers and shakers. What I want to talk about, the cream of the crop is what I want to talk about. Guys like Jake Paul now. That's what I want to talk about. Jake Paul was asked. The dude was asked.
Talk to me.
The dude was asked. He was asked, Like, there's so many levels, to boxing. There's the local level, the regional level, the national level, the, international level, world class and elite. Where do you see yourself? Well, I see myself as elite, I mean, but that's what that's what he's saying. So what I want to ask the panel, it's not whether he's elite or not, because we all know he's not, okay? But the question is, and just, really quick, is he delusional? Like, could he be getting trained and hearing the right things and really believe he's that dude like that? Is it possible? Or is he just playing that part? Is it kayfabe? You know what I mean? Is it like that professional wrestler, that's talking all that trash, all that good stuff? D, talk to us. What is it?
I just wanted to go first because it's not going to take long. I have a special segment on my show for guys like this. And this goes out to Jake Paul, and I'll move on. I'll let someone else go. Jake Paul, you idiot.
Yes.
And that I'm going to leave it at that, bro.
Okay. All right. Okay. A Raw, talk to us. Does he believe it or not?
I think in his egotistical way, he might believe it, but you already know where I'm going with this, right? You ready? Here I go.
What?
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
And that's just a fact. I don't think this guy doesn't necessarily believe he's not elite, because people that live that every day they wake up and they have to go under this ego, right? Under this persona. There's this saying that says you repeat a lie enough times, you wind up believing it. I think this is where he's at since he started boxing, right? And he's gotten to the point where he has believed it. So I still think he has a bit of a hair of an edge over Ben Askren, but I'm going to retract myself from what I said about Ben Askren based on the video I saw today. Just on letting his hands go, he's a little better than the crap we've been seeing that looks like he's killing mosquitoes, but he's delusional in my opinion.
That's not saying much, but all right. Hey, Beeb.
Because he was throwing hands to those bats 2 months ago, and it looked like he was killing micro insects in the air,
I hear you. Beeb, does he believe it? Is he delusional, or is he just playing that part?
It's just the marketing, just trying to market himself, market the fight. Just get attention for himself. It's like when someone goes on a job interview, right? Everyone exaggerates how good they are, what they can do. So whenever you ask someone a question, whether it be an athlete, they're always going to kind of pump themselves up. Were you hurt in that fight? No, I wasn't hurt. You can clearly see the guy staggered halfway across the ring. Like, people just try to, put on an image and portray a persona, because this is the world we live in now. People want to believe fantasy. People want to be told what they want to hear. So he knows that, people are going to hear this, and people who love him are going to be like, yeah, he is elite. And then people who hate him are going to be, no, he's not elite. You kidding me? And both sides are going to tune in, because the side that doesn't like him is going to hope that he gets his ass kicked, and the side that loves him is going to be there, yeah. So obviously, whether you love or hate what this guy's doing, it's working, because he's making a pretty penny doing it. So I don't for 1 second believe he thinks he's elite. I think he just said it to get a soundbite and help promote himself and the fight. That's just my opinion.
Okay. All right. 408, talk to us. Does he believe it or what?
Every Monday night before the shoe shine, I had look at myself in the mirror and say the exact same thing. You're elite. You're elite level podcaster. And I psych myself up enough, and then I can get going on the mic, man. It's stick, man. And someone out there is going to buy it. Maybe one of these 14-year-old YouTube fans will buy it. They're not watching real boxing, and they're going to watch him possibly beat up an MMA guy who's been knocked out recently, and they might think, wow, he's really the real deal, Stick.
Okay. All right. Christine, is he delusional, or is he playing a part?
I believe he's delusional. I believe that he believes his own hype. He has yes men around him. Those yes men are getting paid. They're going to tell him what he wants to hear. They're going to set up sparring that he needs to make him feel and look elite. And it's all part of the money game. I mean, come on. Whether we like it or not, he's making money, and they're gonna keep it going for as long as they can. He's delusional. He believes his own hype.
You know what? I actually agree with you. Just give me a quick take here. Just like for whatever reason, CM Punk believed that he could get in there and fight with like UFC fighters. Like he literally believed it. You know what I mean? And they don't really know how it got to that point, but it did. You know, and he was even telling the guy who was in a fight, you just beat a bunch of tomato cans. That's why you choked that dude out in one round. Like the way he was talking, like he literally believed. You know, that he was that guy. And I think it was from rolling with people in the MMA gym and you know, who knows? Like maybe they're not going 100% like that. So, and maybe he was going 100%. It made him feel like, you know, and maybe they didn't know he wasn't going 100%. Who fucking knows? But he believes. I think Jake Paul literally believes, you know, like, you know what? I can do this. Like I could be that dude. Like it's not that hard. Look, you know, especially they put him in there with a pro boxer, right? And he holds his own, right? It's easy to just get in his ear and be like, man, you know that guy's been boxing his whole life, and you made it look so easy in there, Jake. I mean, I think you're a natural.
You're
at
amazing,
this.
yeah.
You're amazing, bro. Because Jake is paying them to do it. Then of course you're gonna do it. And so it's just at CM Punk. What did he have? He had money. So what were people telling him? What he wanted to hear. Okay. And I think it's a very similar situation. And after knocking out like an NBA athlete, even though he's not a fighter, we all get that. But he felt like that's like a big deal. Like, look how easy I made it look. I knocked him out. So I do believe he believes it. But, Maestro, do you believe that he believes that he's elite? Is he delusional or is he just playing the part?
Cameraman, I need a full screen for this. Full screen. Jake Paul. You think you're elite? You think what it takes to take on an actual boxer? I'm a public school teacher, and I will knock you the fuck out. All right?
Just take it easy, Milcard. Take it easy. Your blood pressure.
This is one of the premier YouTube boxing channels out there, right? You give me a 2-week training camp, right? I'm knocking you out, motherfucker. I want that money. I want that money.
Get your money, Maestro.
Easy work for you. You want to beat up washed out NBA players? You want to beat up YouTube gamers? All right. You think that makes you elite? Test yourself against the Maestro. You're getting knocked out. That's a guarantee. 200 pounds. Let's do it.
Man.
Whoa, Maestro.
Man.
Take it easy. Take it easy. We need you. We need you in the school system. We need you in the school system, please.
Hey, we need to teach these kids. We need to try to beating up YouTubers. You know, but hey, Chief Funky, do you believe he's delusional? Like he really believes he's an elite boxer, or do you think he knows better and he's just playing the part?
No, he's playing the part. He knows he can't fuck with none of these real fighters, man. I mean, he'd have to be just crazy, and it makes too much money to be crazy. You know, he knows what the hell he's doing. They put him in there with anybody that's got a good amount of experience, and he's getting stretched out. Okay, legs, arms wide up, spread all out on the canvas like butter on hot toast. I mean, come on, give me a break, man. This dude is not elite. All right, that's really all I gotta say because this guy's a joke, man. I'm sorry. They'll never put him in there with anybody. That's a threat. So we're just gonna continue to see this type of nonsense. But hell no, he's not elite.
Get him, G. Get him.
Hell no, he's not elite.
Of Milcar's comment.
I like when G lays it out. I like when G puts it out there like that.
Milcar wants to knock him out. I'll put money on Milcar. Let's make it happen.
No, but Milcar's 220 pounds of just raw aggression.
I'm jealous because I should have said something like that. Like I should have posted that challenge. I mean, he's after you.
What's the challenge?
Go ahead. He's 220 pounds of raw defiance. That guy over
like you'll bring the Latino fan base. Like
raw defiance.
I'll bring the Mexican fan base. I'll bring the Mexican fan base. How's that? Not the British, the Mexican fan base.
Latino fan base.
I'm 220. I could get down to 200 with a training camp. I could do it, no
I
problem.
don't know. You got too much muscle mass. You'll lose a lot of muscle mass.
Hey, Milcard, I don't know if you
Do a
answered
catch
the question,
weight.
though.
Do a
Is it
catch weight. Catch
delusional
weight.
or not?
Catch weight 215.
Totally delusional. I haven't boxed in how many years has it been? Like 15 to maybe 17 years. And based on what I've seen in his fights, dude's getting stretched.
Whoa. Whoa.
Or by Ranger. 100%.
Whoa.
100%.
It just is
Don't let the
what it is. ladies and gentlemen.
I'm not getting involved in this, man. I got about a good 30 seconds of fighting in me, and I'm leaving that in case someone cuts me off at McDonald's or something. All right.
Whoa. That's my Big Mac. Pah! You know what I mean? Like, chill out.
A sick
I want to
beast
talk
now,
about
He's in his
yo. You got to tune into the round table. Hit my like button every Thursday. Make sure you always tune in. Okay. Just really quick. Hispanics causing panic. This past Tuesday, go back. Check that out. Also uncensored on G Funky's channel. Make sure you check that out as well if you haven't. All right. Hispanic causing panic, man, every week. But let's talk about the fight that was announced. I want to talk about this one first. So a couple of fights were announced, but we're going to focus on these two. Tank versus Mario Barrios was announced. We'll touch on that in a little bit. But first, Jermell CHarlo versus Castano at 154 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, that is undisputed. That means that if the AJ Fury fight happens, we'll have undisputed heavyweight. We'll have undisputed at junior middleweight. We'll have undisputed at 140 pounds. That's junior welterweight, right? So it sounds like 2021 could be the year of undisputed. So for anybody saying, but they don't do undisputed no more because Crawford and Spence don't run the sport. They're not the only names in the sport. If they're not fighting, let's give credit to the ones that are. Okay, so let's talk about this one here. Hey, Ranger, talk to us. What do you make of the fight, man?
I got kind of lost answering text to my dad in Cuba. So what you're gonna have to which one of the fight? I'm sorry.
Okay, so Castano versus Jermell CHarlo.
Yo, okay, so I like Castano. Don't get me wrong, but this CHarlo we're talking about, this is not the guy clout chasing Canelo. This CHarlo at 154, this guy is the one that has put in the work to be where he's at, and he's done the legit way. To me, this guy is it's gonna be hard to be stopped. Now, Castano offers the very awkward and pressure style that's he's constantly in front of you, right? But and anything can happen because Castano is not no lucky shot. Hey, he got lucky and became a champion. No, he's actually done the work. He's fought at Islam de Lara, made it ugly. Some people saw it in one way or another. He's done the work. I still see CHarlo on top on this fight, though. I think that there's a little more skills on the CHarlo, and I think if CHarlo can suppress Castano by simply keeping the distance and giving him angles, and if it's getting too hard on him, use a little clinching from time to time. I still see CHarlo beating him.
Okay. All right. Okay. Hey, what do you make of it, Chief Funky? Undisputed. What's your overall thought on this, man?
Well, you guys have known I've been pretty consistent with this. I love Undisputed. I'm all for Undisputed. I want the guys to clean up all the belts. This way, there's no doubt about it. And I'm glad that this fight is happening next. Very excited for it. And it's a good matchup, man. I know a lot of people, are going to favor CHarlo. And I'm slightly favoring him. I'm telling you, slightly favoring him because I think Castano is a live dog here, man. And you guys know I got a good eye for underdogs. You guys know that. You guys seen how I pick, all right? But I'll definitely be doing a breakdown prediction on this one. But no pick as of right now. But I do like the fight, man. It's a great fight for Undisputed, and let's do it, man.
D, talk to us. It's been announced now, man. What do you make of this fight?
Jermell, right? Castano.
Yep. Undisputed, 154.
Look, man, Jermell's one of my guys, so I could be a bit biased here with this one, but I don't think the one thing about these Charlos, man, that I don't think a lot of people give them credit for is their chins. Both of them. These guys can take a punch, man. I've seen them eat punches. Tony Harrison doesn't have a chin, but he has a decent punch with him. You know what I mean? And Charlo ate some good shots with him. He just kept coming forward. This is not Brian. This is not Patrick Textero we're talking about. He's not going to get in there and land a couple of shots on Charlo and think this dude's going to go away. Then the size, the dimensions, disadvantage that Castano has. I think it's a great fight. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like I think that Castano has more of a chance than a Liam Williams or something like that. Castano's a valid opponent, but I just think that Jermell's too much for him, and he's gonna. This is a 4-belt undisputed for Jermell CHarlo. Here's another thing. I knew that this fight was going to happen because it's similar to Teofimo Lopez and Lomachenko. The PBC got that locked up. Those belts inside of there. At the end of the day, they don't give a damn which one of those guys win. They're going to have all of those belts locked up inside of the PBC. So, this fight was pretty much one of the shoo-ins I had. We talked about this at the end of last year. I had this as a shoo-in for 4-belt undisputed. And I think Jermell wins it.
You're right. You're right, D. I agree.
All right. Hey, Maestro, what do you make of this fight? 154 pounds, Jermell CHarlo fighting for undisputed against Castano.
Well, Castano is a good boxer. He's the second best boxer out of South America after Amilcar Vidal. You guys got to look him up. Amilcar Vidal. Say it again. Amilcar Vidal.
Is that you?
El Tocayo, you know what I mean?
It's got nothing to do with his name. But Castano, I respect the kid, man. It's funny that I call him the kid because honestly, I think of him as much younger than he is. He's actually 31 years old, but he's got the aura of someone who's much younger. And it's because he doesn't really have as many fights as you'd expect someone who's 31-year-old who's a champion to have. I thought he did very well against LIITR. I'm not going to lie. I wasn't scoring the fight, so I can't tell you one way or another exactly how that fight should have been scored, but I felt he did very good in that fight. Unfortunately, I just think Jermell CHarlo is the goods, man, and is by far the premier talent at 154 pounds. D mentioned his chin. He's got the chin. He's quick, twitchy. He's got great punch variety. He's strong physically. And that is really what's going to come into play here because Castano's style is to be aggressive and to kind of bully you as much as he can. He was able to do that against Teixeira, who seems to be a little bit kind of, I got to watch my words here. Let's just say he doesn't seem as physically strong and as durable as a CHarlo. And because of that, I do not see that style working well against him at all. Honestly, very surprised to see him go after this fight immediately. I thought we'd see him maybe defend the title in Argentina at least once and get like a big, show in Argentina at home and kind of capitalize on the title. If not that, go to Costa's son hometown out there in Australia and get a big payday over there. Although Ranger's shaking his head. Ranger, trust me, I'm right with you, bro. I'm a huge fan of Tim Tszyu. Honestly, I just feel like because they can actually have live gates in Australia right now, that it probably would have been a bigger payday for him than the CHarlo fight because it's probably going to take place without TV, without a live audience, and it's like a guaranteed loss to me. So, it's tough. If I was managing him, we would have milked that WBO title a lot longer, take on some mandatory defenses, take on some optional defenses, and then go for unification later on. But all credit to him. He's got huevos, man. He's got cojones. He's got balls, and he's willing to test himself against the premier champ. So I got to, give him credit for that.
He's also got Al Haymon. saying, "Here, this is what we're gonna do."
Well, there you go. Hey, Christine, what do you make about the announcement of this fight? I mean, I know Charlo's from Texas. Texas, stand up. You know what I mean? But
Texas,
um,
hey.
well,
No,
but
I
what's
like
up?
this
What do
fight.
you make of it?
I like this fight, but I think honestly, Castano, he is no joke. I mean, he stalks his opponents. He's right in front. You know, I don't think he's going to be able to do that with Jermell. I honestly think that this is totally going to raise Jermell's stock. It's tailor made for him. I really feel that it is. It's a great matchup. But I totally feel that it's in Jermell's favor, 100%. Not taking anything away from Castano. He's tough. He's in your face. He's a bully. But I think that that's perfect for Jermell because Jermell is going to box him, and he's not going to let him be in his face. He's going to run circles around him.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Shout out to the GOAT in the chat there. Chicano Prophet finally gracing us with his presence. There he is. Shout out to you. Far away, talk to us, man. Well, what do you make of this announcement, man? 154 pounds, undisputed. Are you excited?
I'm actually excited. And yeah, I think that it's to be celebrated that we're going to see a unification so quickly. Castano just literally won the belt. And like Amilcar was saying, you would think he would take a mandatory defense and take a celebration tour in Argentina. If he pulls off the upset, we're going to potentially finally see another Argentinian star, you know, like Sergio Maravilla Martinez or Lucas Matisse. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think, you know, the ring IQ that Jermell has is way too much for him. And styles make fights, and he's going to pick this guy apart.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. Hey, Beeb. So here we are, man. It's been announced Jermell CHarlo versus Castano. So, you know, total unification, undisputed. What do you make of it?
I'm very impressed that Jermell CHarlo said he wants to unify, and he's one of the few fighters that is actually following through with it and doing it. You got to give him credit for that. I think Castano beat Erislandia Lara when they fought. I had him winning that fight. You know, he's smaller than CHarlo. CHarlo's the bigger guy. He's the heavier hitter. But the thing with CHarlo is he's bigger, longer, and rangier, but doesn't always use that height and reach as well as his brother does. He likes to kind of get in there in the pocket and slug it out. Sometimes he'll lay up against the ropes, let his opponent come to him, and he invites the exchanges. The thing about Castano, though, is he's crafty. I know he's an aggressive guy, but he's really good on his feet. He's very quick on his feet. He goes in and out. He's constantly moving his head and his upper body. He's hard to really hit clean. You could see how frustrated Lara was getting trying to land a flush, clean shot on him because he kept moving his head. And he'll go in there and just land those little pesky flurries, and then he'll just dart right back out and reset and go back in and out, constantly bobbing, weaving and stuff. He's got a real pesky, irritating type style that I think could present problems for Jermell, because sometimes Jermell looks for that one punch. He loads up, likes to get in that pocket and just stand there. Doesn't always utilize his length and his height. And I think, even though he's the bigger puncher here, Castano is the type of guy where he's not looking to hit the home run. He'll just outwork you. He'll just keep pecking away and scoring points, and he'll try to win the fight that way. So I think CHarlo sometimes doesn't throw enough punches. Like I said, waits for that one big shot, sometimes loads up. And if he gives a lot of these early rounds away, and he looks for that knockout to bail him out like it did against Tony Harrison, then, he may have too many rounds lost and given up in the bank, and then trying to play catch up too late against a guy like Castano, who's not going to give you those opportunities, who's not going to stand still for you, who really doesn't make many mistakes. He's pretty solid defensively as well. So I think this is a difficult fight for CHarlo. It's a 50-50 fight. I think it's a fight he could lose. I think he'll definitely be favored, but I'm like G-Funky here. I think Castano is very live. And I think as the fight nears close, I may go with the underdog in this one. I really think he has a shot here.
Oh, you made some great points, Beeb. Great points, man.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, I can't wait. And I see some people saying, "Oh, undisputed, it's overrated." I mean, I don't know. You know, the beauty about Undisputed, it removes opinion, and we could only go by the facts. That's what that does. You know what I mean?
If you win all the belts, what else is there for you to do? I mean, how do you get criticized after that? Really?
Right.
And yesterday we were just talking. I think it was on G Funky's channel. Why can't we see the days of one belt for division? This is literally summing it all up. If you own if you got most of the belts, most of the most important belts of a division, you're it. There is no other champ out there. You know, you're it. So to me, unification will never be overrated, regardless who's out there doing it.
You can only beat what's out there, right? And if you have all the belts, I mean, it is what it is, right?
Yep.
Man, let me tell you guys something right now. We have reached the 12th and final round. All right. We didn't get through everything, but it's okay because, man, was it a good show. All right. 12th final round. That means final thoughts. If you want to reserve that time to talk about the Tank fight, you could do that if you want. It's completely and totally up to you what you want to do with that time. Milcar, talk to us, man. Can you give us your final thoughts, whatever you want?
Just want to thank everyone for the great show here. It's always a pleasure being online with Raw Boxing TV, who I don't always get to see regularly, but it's always a pleasure being on with you, bro.
Appreciate it, man.
Always a pleasure. Everybody on the panel, actually, just really always good talking boxing with everyone here. I'm so happy about the discussion, actually. I was talking to D-Style offline. I'm going to do an overtime for this. I'm going to post a link in the chat and take calls if anyone wants to continue the discussion, because I actually did want to talk about the Tank fight. And you know what? On Fridays, I actually don't teach classes this year because of the whole remote learning and everything else. So I will be live. I'm going to post a link in the chat and taking calls and everything else. Hopefully people will want to continue talking boxing. But thank you, D-Style. Always a pleasure.
Most definitely, man. Everybody go to Milcars after this, and if you want to tune in, call in, all that good stuff. Yo, my co-host for Tuesdays and for Wednesdays, the one and the only, G Funky. Talk to us, brother.
Yeah, I want to talk about the Tank fight, okay? And I'm going to get it out now because I don't know if it sounds like fun, Maestro. I might join you over there. I don't know. We'll see, man. But I want to get something off my chest real quick about that, okay? This guy's moving up to fight Mario Barrios, right, at 140 for another regular WBA title, okay? This guy is going to be the only guy in the history of boxing that I know of that's going to win. That's going to be a 3-division WBA regular champion. Regular champion, right? This is just another easy pickings fight for this guy. And here's the thing, man. Okay, Barrios hasn't fought anybody, hasn't beat anybody. So again, easy fight for Tank. But I want to say this, man. I remember a lot of you Teofimo Lopez haters out there were saying this crap, right? When he mentioned that he might move up and fight for Undisputed at 140 pounds. You guys said he was ducking all the smoke at 135, right? He's ducking everybody at 135. Well, what's Tank doing here, huh? Are you going to stay consistent and say that the guy's ducking all the smoke at 135 or what?
Of course
This
not.
guy hasn't fought nobody at 135, bro. Nobody. He beat an old one-legged Gamboa. That's it. He hasn't fought Loma. He hasn't fought Haney. He hasn't fought Garcia. He hasn't fought Lopez. He hasn't fought Nagatani. He hasn't fought fucking Gomez and fought Linares. None of these guys. He's ducking all that smoke, man. I want you guys to keep that same fucking energy, all right? And I know you guys don't like to be held consistent, but guess what? G-Funk's going to hold those feet to the fire, baby. I'm coming for all you Funk.
Tell him, G.
I'm through with it. I'm
Empty
through.
out the clip, G. Empty out the clip, G. Empty out the clip.
And G Funky ain't touching gloves in the 12th and final round. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't touching no gloves. You know what I mean? Like, no ref. You know what I mean?
Let them know what you're all about. Let them know what
It's
you're
a
all
12th
about.
and final round, D. That means it's time to touch gloves and wrap this one up. Talk to us. Final thoughts.
G Funky, my man, he already cleaned it up for my guy Teofimo Lopez, because everybody knows that's my guy. So since you did clean it up for Teofimo, let me clean it up for Tyson Fury and get all of you guys straight out here. This fight is going to happen for sure, and it's only one Tyson Fury. He's going to beat Anthony Joshua like a ceremonial drum. Final thoughts. Speak Your Mind Sports Talk. Shout out to Spanish called the Panic, my man D-Style, Chief Funky, everybody on the panel. That's how we going down. It's a 4-belt undisputed year right here. We going to get them. We going to get them all. Let's go.
This was for Chief Funky. You know what I mean? That's right. All right. Hey, Ranger, it's the 12th and final round, brother. So touch gloves and give us your final thoughts.
Okay, man. Well, once again, appreciate the invitation to the show. As far as scheduling in my channel, there is no scheduling because I'm always out of town. And so I do my videos whenever, or my live streams whenever I'm in town. What are those days? I never know. Just look for the content and thumbnail. And that's about all I can offer. If you want to go check me out, Raw Boxing TV on all social media platforms except Facebook, Twitch, Raw Boxing TV as well. And yeah, you'll see me around a little more, joining all of these guys. You know, they're the homies. They reached out to me after my 6-year break, so I got to show love to those that showed me love. You know, HCP on top.
Now, can you show that shirt really quick, if you don't mind? You know what I mean? Look at that, bro. Ooh, that's right. That's what it's all about right there.
I'm gonna have to buy about 3 or 4 of those.
Hey man, hey, you can pay your union dues and become a member. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Okay, I'm going to do that.
There you go. There you go. Christine, man, we want to thank you for coming on. I know you're really, really busy, but we definitely appreciate it.
No, I missed you guys. So I so appreciate being on. D-Styles has called me a couple times to come on, but I've been tied up. But I so love talking to you guys because, you know, y'all are super cool and funny. So I just so appreciate, you know, being on, and I hope to join y'all again soon. Thank you so much.
Yeah, most definitely. 4 away from the shoe shine. It's a 12th final round. So touch gloves and give us your final thoughts.
Yeah, I started off the show letting everybody know I just had my second coronavirus shot, and I'm starting to feel like shit. All right, but I haven't traveled anywhere in over a year. My wife and I have already booked a vacation to go see this fight in Vegas, May 22nd, 140-pound unification, and Top Rank hasn't announced a venue or even if tickets will be available. So please get it together. That fight's right around the corner, okay? Meanwhile, you got UFC Dana White today announcing that Conor McGregor will be fighting to a full house July 15th. Tickets go on sale tomorrow. But even bigger news than that is that Conor McGregor is going to sell Proper 12 to Jose Cuervo for $150 million.
Wow.
Now, it's only fitting that Jose Cuervo buy Proper 12, and I'll tell you why. It's because they both taste like shit.
You don't like Proper 12, Mike?
A lot of people say it doesn't taste good. I don't drink. I'm not a drinker, so I wouldn't know.
Me neither. I don't even know what wine tastes like.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Oh, never.
Yeah.
Hey, Beeb. It's the 12th and final round, brother. Touch gloves. Give us your final thoughts.
Got to say, this was probably the best show we ever did. This was a fiery debate we had.
It was hot.
This was the first show that I ever sweated like this. Like, I have to go take a shower after this show. That's how hot That's how hot I was.
When a dragon comes at you, you just sweat. You know what I'm saying?
I had everyone jumping. Me and Milcar had to take on the whole house. It's like me and Milcar rolled into a bar together, and we had to take everyone out. This was like that movie. This was like that movie Roadhouse when I'm Patrick Swayze and Milcar's the old guy with the mustache and beard. We're freaking hanging and banging, fighting everyone off tonight. But
that's that Latino heat, Beeb.
That's what it is. That's what it is. But you know, I don't even want to really talk about the Tank fight because I'm really not interested in it. You know, once again, there's a pattern with a lot of the PBC fighters. I hate to say it, but you know, they have an agenda. You know, they have the in-house fights. You know, shout out to CHarlo. I mean, Jermell, he seems to be like the only guy that really wants it over there. But other than that, I'm just not seeing a lot of I'm not seeing a lot of motivation from a lot of those PBC guys over there. I'm just hoping that I'm wrong, and I hope, like, you know, we can see Porter cross over and fight a Crawford or something like that, because this whole other side of the street stuff, and we can't go there, and you know, we're not going to do this and that because this guy's with this guy or that guy, whatever. I just hope that ends, and we get to have these fights that we really want to have. But yeah, good show, fiery debate, and let's just keep crossing our fingers for Fury Joshua because it still hasn't been announced yet. But again, you know, hopefully by the end of the week we'll see.
Yes.
There's only Tyson Fury.
All right, there we go. All right, that is it, folks. I want to thank everyone that tuned in. I appreciate it. Go to the link in the chat. Maestro will be live for Roundtable Overtime for whoever's interested in tuning into that. All right, this is D-Style Boxing. Click on the link once again. All right, keep it boxing. We're out of here.
Orale!